Hello boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to the Brazilian Grand Prix here at the Interlagos circuit. Just outside of Sao Paulo. I heard that in Portuguese, Interlagos means between the lakes, and we are heading for a very wet Brazilian Grand Prix here at Interlagos. But before all that, we are in qualifying for it's a very wet qualifying as well. And at the moment we've got Alex Young on pole, got Frentzen second, Fisichella third, lazy fourth, Sato fifth. And there seems to be action happening in qualifying. Dennis lost the wheel, I heard De La Rosa lose something. It's quite remarkable. But we've got Fisichella leading, a lazy second, Young third, Frentzen fourth, Mazzacane fifth, Pani sixth. Fisichella 117. Oh, Young's managed to get into first for now on a 117.1. Alonso's in second in the Toyota. It's the highest the Toyota has been all season. Still got a few people making laps still. Waiting for them. And Panis has used all of his laps. He's going to stay in ninth. Fisichella's gone out and he will not improve from third place. Loads of drivers now going out. Got a few drivers still going to make 2 times laps. The Jordans are currently 5th and 6th. Frentzen not improving from 7th place. Button's not improved. Oh, there was an improvement there. It looks like it's Kimi Räikkönen that's improved. Mazzacane will not improve. Last race winner not improving. Hill and Frentzen not improving, so it looks like the grid is set unless Räikkönen can do something. He cannot. So, Young is on pole. Alonso second, Fisichella third, a lazy fourth. Renault doing good. Button fifth, Hill sixth. Frentzen seventh, Mazzacane eighth, Panis ninth, Räikkönen 10th. And then below them, Webber 11th, Sato 12th, Coulthard 13th, De La Rosa 14th, Ralf Schumacher 15th, Michael Schumacher 16th for the Ferrari. They're very far down. Barrichello 17th, Montoya 18th, Hakkinen 19th, and Diniz with only 3 laps completed, rounds off your grid. Here at a very, very wet Interlagos circuit. The drivers are going to have to be careful going down the bottom of the center S because there's probably going to be a huge puddle there. There's going to be a huge puddle at the bottom with Jean Cow as they go up the hill towards the pit straight. But here is your grid. And we are waiting for the lights to go out. And there we'll go. Now! It's a good start from Alonso. Alonso's going to take the lead straight away from Young. It's going to be a great start for Alesi as well. He's going to get into second place, is he? Yes, he is. All the drivers are behaving, going around the first 2 corners. Not sure if anyone stalled or not. We'll soon see. Alonso leads, Alesi second. Young is in third, Fisichella fourth. The 2 Jordans of Button and Hill 5th and 6th. Great start from Räikkönen. He's up 3 into 7th place. Frentzen is in 8th, Mazzacane 9th, Sato in 10th. Panis is in 11th, De La Rosa 12th. Mark Webber 13th, Schumacher 14th. Coulthard 15th, Barrichello 16th, Schumacher 17th, Montoya 18th, Hakkinen 19th. So I think someone has stalled on that grid. I think it is Diniz that stalled. Diniz stalled from the back of the grid, and so actually I think the teammates hit each other in qualifying. But alas, he won't be able to take any part. It's been a dreadful weekend for the Brazilian in front of his home crowd. It's one to soon forget. But it might not be one to forget for Alonso, leading currently the Brazilian Grand Prix in the Toyota. As they go around the complex of corners in the middle sector. This is the sector that makes it very difficult to set up the car because you've got a really long double straight. And then you've got this complex series of corners. But in the wet anyway, you're one cornering. But it's now blast up the hill, flat out, easily. Ran all these corners. Up into gear 7, doing nearly 200 miles an hour in the wet, remarkably. As Young dives down the inside of a lazy, is he going to make the move stick? Around turn 2, around the outside, he does not make the move stick. A lazy keeps hold of that second place. He's letting Alonso get away in the lead. But Young is going down, looking down the inside now of a lazy. Is he going to make... No, he's not. Young stays in 3rd place for now. But it looks like it's only going to be a matter of time before the Malaysian gets past the Frenchman. It might be now. He's got a very good run around this corner and he takes 2nd place away from a lazy. So it's Renault now 3rd and 4th. In fact, Fizzy Keller has a little look down the inside of a lazy. A lazy struggling at the moment. In 3rd place, Fizzy Keller in 4th in the Renault. 5th Button is a 2nd back from these lots. There is the Brit and the Jordan. Pole last race, couldn't capitalise on that pole. He finished off the podium for the Season 3 Constructor Champions. Not made much headway into this season. Struggled in the first 3 races, did the Jordan team. Raikkonen's been making headway. He's past Hill. On board with Heinz Howard Frentzen, 2nd place in the championship at the moment. If it stays like this, he'll still be... I think he'll still be 2nd, but he'll close the gap slightly to Michael Schumacher, who looks like he's not going to be scoring much points today. De La Rosa in 12th in the Jaguar. 13th behind him is Webber. Coulthard 14th in the McLaren. 15th is Ralf Schumacher, but he looked like he was trying to make a move. Oh, there is Michael Schumacher. That was Michael Schumacher trying to get past Ralf Schumacher. On board with the championship leader, Michael Schumacher. Unusual to see him this far down. Ralf Schumacher looked like he was having a little look out down the inside of Coulthard. Ralf Schumacher looking a little racy in the first couple of laps. Round the 2nd hairpin. Round towards the 3rd hairpin. What, 26 laps of this circuit, I think. So 26 laps of action, hopefully. A lot more action, hopefully, than in Canada. Right, Young passing a lazy, just on the fastest lap of the race. As Ralf Schumacher's looking down the inside of Coulthard. He's got a much more better run, but he's slipped down the behind Coulthard for now. It looks like it's only going to be a matter of time before Ralf Schumacher passes Coulthard. Barrichello holding up Montoya, it looks like, a little bit. Häkkönen's losing time towards the top 2. Montoya's just had a dreadful season so far. Not as much of a dreadful season than Pedro de la Rosa, who is the only driver to yet to score a point this season. But Alonso leads by 2.5 seconds over Alex Young. There is Young in 2nd place in the Minardi. A lazy behind him in 3rd for the Renault. Up the hill, up towards the pit straight. There is a lazy. He's already lost about 5 seconds to Young in 2 laps alone. Someone's stuck in De La 2nd gear. I think it might be De La Rosa. Someone's done another fastest lap. Yeah, it's De La Rosa that's stuck in gear. He's got to avoid all these cars. And that's Ralf Schumacher going into the pits as well. Is that why he was looking so racy? Because he's going in for an early stop? Who knows? But they're both in the pits. De La Rosa and Ralf Schumacher are old rivals of time. De La Rosa turns into for retirement. It's a very bad day for the Jaguar team. Ralf Schumacher is being serviced. Change of 4 tyres. And away goes Ralf Schumacher. 8-second stop for the German. It's a very weird pit lane because it goes down the inside of the track. And there is Alonso in the Toyota. Young in the Minardi. Up the hill they go. Fisichella has passed a Lazy now. Maybe team orders there, who knows. A Lazy in 4th, Button in 5th, and there's no sign of 6th. There's Raikkonen in 6th. Hill 7th, Benson 8th. Alonso with the fastest lap from the lead. Mazzacane is catching these lots a little bit. Round the first corner. Montoya with a problem. There is the Colombian. He looks to be out of the race before it's really started. Montoya is out of the race. Sato's in 10th, Panis 11th, Webber 12th. Round turn 5, no 7, 8, 1, 2. Anyway, we've got Webber in 12th. Panis is still 11th. Takuma Sato is in 10th. 10th still does not score points. In fact, if it was the top 10 that scored points, it would actually be a championship fight because both Frentzen and Schumacher would be on the same amount of points. But alas, it's Schumacher that's got a 4-point lead over his fellow German. Webber looks like he's going to make a move down the inside of Panis soon. Oh, it's going to get a little bit tight. But Webber keeps... Panis keeps Webber at bay, sorry. Arrow's ready in the pits. Well, arguably, it's going to be for Ralf Schumacher. It's not going to be for Heinz-Harald Frentzen, but Ralf Schumacher is going into the pits. He probably has nothing else better to do than to pit lap every 2 laps. Looks like Sato's holding everyone up. Panis looks down the inside of Sato. Is he going to make the move stick? Oh, Sato cuts him up. Cuts him off. An absolute charm. Sato 10th though in the Minardi. 9th is Gaston Mazzacane. Been following Frentzen, Hill and Raikkonen. With Frentzen is getting dropped a little bit by Raikkonen and Hill. Young doing consistent fastest laps. But to no avail because he's not catching Alonso quick enough. Fisichella 12 seconds back. The top 2 are just absolutely dominating this race at the moment. Can someone actually catch up with them? Possibly. Maybe all these are on a 1-stop and they're on a 2-stop. We shall soon see. Coulthard 13th. Schumacher 14th. On board with Jean Lazy. Fisichella doing his best to try and catch up to them, but it's just not happening. Just not happening at the moment. There is Fisichella. He is about to be 10 seconds behind Alex Young. We're on board with Alex Young. He's got Ralf Schumacher in front for company. Is the German going to get in the way? Toyota ready in the pits. So that is why Alonso's so quick, because he's inevitably on a 2-stop, I presume. Someone stuck in 5th gear. I'm not too sure. It might have been Barry. It might be Barry Keller stuck in 5th gear. Alonso is in the pit. It is Barry Keller that's stuck in gear. In 15th, there is Barry Keller. 5th gear is probably the worst gear to be stuck in on this racetrack because of all the high acceleration places. There's Hakkinen. 1st gear for Hakkinen. Alonso is away. Look at all these cars he now has to try and pass. Ferrari ready in the pits is going to be for Barrichello to retire the car. He always has bad luck in Brazil, does Barrichello, and today is none the different. But away goes Alonso, who's in 9th place, he's in clear air. Mazzacane 8th, Frentzen 7th. Frentzen needs 5th place to be ahead of Schumacher coming out of Brazil, but I don't think that's going to happen. Raikkonen 5th. Button's in 4th, Alazy 3rd, Fisichella 2nd. Arrow's ready in the pits for Young. No, Bernard is ready in the pits for Young. Arrow's ready in the pits for Schumacher. Now, is Young going to stay behind Schumacher or not? And that might be the reason why Schumacher was so slow. He was very close with his engine, and there he goes, and Michael Schumacher's engine's blown, and he is out of the race. Ralf Schumacher is stopped at the pit lane, which holds up Young a little bit by the looks of it. Young is out of the pits now. So Ralf Schumacher loses his suspension in the pit lane, right in front of Young. I'm not sure if I delayed Young or not in the pits, but Young is now out on the track. So there's Schumacher's suspension collapsing. We're about to see Young try and exit the pits. There's Young exiting the pits. It just gives him a little love tap. Little love tap to show that he was still there. But that's Ralf Schumacher out of the race. And that is Webber and Panis having an accident. Webber and Panis, and Young has collected them. Young is in the walls with everyone at the moment. He's not lost any tyres or wheels or anything. But Panis and Webber out of the race. What will happen here? So it looks like Panis goes for the move on Sato. I presume Webber's unsighted. They both went right to try and pass each other, and in fact it looks dramatic, but I think it was very innocent for Young. But there we are. Their race is done. Young was just unsighted. So Panis and Webber are now out of the race. We're down to 12 runners now in the race. Sato is in 9th. Alonso 8th. In the Toyota 7th is Mazzacane, 6th Frentzen. 5th is Hill. Raikkonen is in 4th in the other Sauber. Hill 5th in the Jordan. Raikkonen is 4th in the Sauber. The other Jordan of Jenson Button is in 3rd place. A lazy 2nd in the Renault. But out in front is Giancarlo Fisichella in the Renault. He's got a 4-second lead over Alazy at the moment. But it's not going to be 5 seconds for much longer, as Fisichella preparing to go into the pits for the first time, potentially only time that Fisichella is going into the pits in this race. Lap 11 is about the right lap to get to the end. We shall soon see. Alazy takes the lead of the race. Into his pit bat goes Fisichella. Change of all 4 tyres. They're not rushed to change tyres because the fuel takes ages to be put in. The jacks are taken off and Fisichella is fueled to the end. And away goes the Italian. Sato goes past. Coulthard is good to go past. Round the inside of the track. Round 10-3. Fisichella's going to be in front of Young. That's not going to please Young much because he was battling a Renault to try and pass him in the first couple of laps, and now he's got to try and battle Fisichella for position. So up through the gears, up round turn the top of the circuit in turn 7. Now we're down to turn 8. That's still wrong. This is turn 7. This is turn 8. But they're going around now. Fisichella 10th in the Renault for now. Coulthard is in 9th. We've got the classification at the moment. A lazy leads. Button 2nd. And then a huge gap to Raikkonen in 3rd. Hill 4th. Frentzen 5th. Mazzacane 6th. Frenssen's in prime position to take the lead of the championship at the moment. But we're halfway through the race, so anything can happen. Mazzacane 6th. 7th Alonso. 8th Sato. 9th Coulthard. 10th will be Fisichella. 11th Young. And 12th is Hakkinen. Hakkinen is the last driver on the circuit. There he is. He's 17 seconds behind everyone. But now we're on board with Jean Alesi. Going towards Jean Cao. Renault are in the pits ready for Alesi. The Jordan aren't ready for Button yet. Who else? It's Raikkonen that's ready and going into the pits. We are ready. That's going to be for Mazzacane because Panis is out. Alesi goes into the pits. Button takes over the lead at the moment. Now we're going to have a battle here to see who is out on top between Fisichella and I presume Alesi. We shall soon see the change of all 4 tyres for Fisichella. Raikkonen, Alonso goes past. Alonso's going to have to make another pit stop though. Mazzacane goes past. No, he doesn't because Mazzacane is in the pits. So it looks like Alesi will... Fisichella's going around turn 1. We're not actually sure who's going to be in front because it's a very awkward pit lane in the wet. Gonna lift slightly. So does the outside, and it's going to be Alesi in front of Fisichella, who's in front of Young. So Young loses 2 places to both Renaults, or is he? Because Young's down the inside of Fisichella. It's going to be no. Fisichella keeps hold of what is 8th place. Jordan ready in the pits. I'm not sure who that is for, which I should see. That might be for Button, judging by the gap. Arrow ready in the pits. It's going to be 4. It is for Button. Arrow's ready in the pits for Frentzen. But Button goes into the pits now. He's going to join in with the battle of the Renaults and Young. Especially with the fact that he stayed out for one more lap. Damon Hill is in the lead of the race. It's the first time he's led the race for quite a while. But Jordan not going to get held up by Frentzen. And away goes Button in the Jordan. 13.3 seconds. Lazy goes past the pit box. So Button's going to be ahead of all these then. There is the 3. And there is Button. Another car has managed to get in front of Alex Young. Alex Young has had an absolute dreadful time here. He's now behind Button, Alesi and Fisichella. After taking the brilliant pole position yesterday. But Button. Alesi's looking down the inside of Button, but nothing is going to happen there. Coulthard 4th at the moment in the McLaren. 3rd Sato. 2nd Alonso. Damon Hill leads the Brazilian Grand Prix for Jordan. Young 8th, Fisichella 7th, Alesi 6th, Button 5th, Frentzen is in 9th after he made his pit stop. Up through the gears goes the Minardi. Gear 7, 14 kilometers an hour on the speed trap. 1:22 for the Minardi. Fisichella in 7th in the Renault. Accelerating through the gears. Lazy's in 6th. Button leading the Brazilian Grand Prix in 5th. Well, not leading, because you can't lead in 5th. It is Hill that's leading at the moment. Fisichella looks like he's going down the inside of a Lazy. Is a Lazy going to let Fisichella go by? No, they're going to battle. Oh, they're going to be argy-bargy, all the Renaults. They're still side by side, still side by side. They're still side by side. It's a great battle for the Renaults. Young can just sit back and watch. He can't do anything. Fisichella takes back that position. Hill leads. Not for long though, not now because he's pitted. Alonso now leads. Is he going to join in with the battle between these lot? Hill goes to going down the pit lane. They've gone past. Yep, they've gone past now. He might actually get. He might be in the middle of this battle. Where's he going to end up? The answer is. Oh! That was so close to taking out Young. So close. But Hill is in front of Young. Another person that's in front of Young on track. What can Young just get a break here? He's just losing positions left, right and centre. So Button is in front of this queue. Fisichella is the next guy in the queue. Hill. No, sorry, Lazy, then Hill. Someone's ready in the pits. I'm not sure who it's for. I think it was McLaren ready for Coulthard. Coulthard is in 3rd. Alonso leads. I don't know who's in 2nd at the moment. It is Sato that's in 2nd. But Coulthard slows for the pits. His pit box is the first pit box. And then you got to change all 4 tyres. Refuel till the end. He's one and only pit stop. Frentzen goes past, take over 8th place for the Arrows. Raikkonen's gone past. Raikkonen's been jumped by Frentzen, in fact. So Raikkonen's actually been a big loser in all this. He's lost positions to Hill and Frentzen. Not as big as a loser than Young. Young's lost positions to quite a few people. Coulthard's about to be passed by Hakkinen. There we are. Hakkinen is no longer last. Currently his teammate is last. Mazzacane 10th. Raikkonen is in 9th place at the moment. 8th place is Heinz Frentzen. 7th Alex Young. 6th Hill. 5th for Lazy. 4th Fisichella and 3rd is Jenson Button, but still 2 people left to pit. Alonso needs to pit for the 2nd time this race, and I can't remember who's the other person that needs to pit. Sato is one that needs to pit. Sato still has not gone into the pit lane yet, though. There is Takuma Sato. He stayed out till lap 19. It's quite impressive on a tank of fuel. Lap 19 for the Japanese Minardi driver. He might get into contention. Hakkinen ready to be surfaced by his McLaren team. Can't surely get any worse than what they currently are doing at the moment this race. Sato 2nd in the Minardi. He has not been this high up since he got a 3rd place in America. Button having a little bit of bombardment from Fisichella in the Renault in 4th. Braking. Is he going to have a look down the inside? He nearly did. He's going to look down the inside of this corner. No, he isn't. Button closes the door. Round. Next hairpin. Minardi are finally ready to service Sato, who's done 19 laps on 1 tank of fuel. Down towards the final proper corner. Oh dear, that was a bad yawn. I do apologise for that. Button, third in the Jordan. He's going to gain second place off of Sato. As Sato goes into the pits. A group of 5 cars down, all on the same straight. 2 Jordans, 2 Renaults, 1 Minardi. Alonso has a 25-second lead currently on his 2-stop. Up through the gears goes Mazzacane. He is harassing Button quite a lot. Turtle ready, he's going to be for Alonso. Not sure how much of a lead Alonso... Well, Alonso has 25 seconds. I'm not sure how much time he's going to lose doing a pit stop. We shall soon see. Sato's come out behind Frentzen, so he might inherit 8th place. We are on board with Alonso through the pits. We shall soon see if he takes back the lead, if he keeps holding the lead, or if he's going to lose position to Button. Change of all 4 tyres for Fernando Alonso. Off the tracks he goes. Away goes Alonso. He might just do it. It's going to be very, very tight. Get the best pit exit you can, Alonso. There's Button. Alonso is going to do it. Is Alonso going to do it? Yes, Alonso has done it. He's made the 2-stop work. And keeps hold of the lead. Much to the dismay of the Jordan team, I assume. But Alonso now leads the Brazilian Grand Prix. Button second, Mazzacane third. All the top 6 covered by a matter of meters. And it's just a straight up fight till the end. Laps 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 and 26. Coulthard has a problem, and there is the McLaren driver off to the side of the road. He's retired with his suspension failure. He's going to promote Hakkinen into 11th place. There's 11 drivers now left in the race. Suspension collapsage. Frentzen is in at 7th place. And that is all we're going to see of Frentzen. Young 5th. You can see the race leader, but he can't do anything about it because he's got 5 cars in front of him. Young's going down the inside of Hill though. Is Young going to make the move stick round the centre rest? The answer is no. Hill keeps hold of that 5th place. That could be a very important 5th place when it comes to the end of the championship. We shall soon see. Alazi in 4th. Mazzacane still heckling Button. Alonso, well, Mazzacane's going down the inside of Button. The Button closes the door, shuts though. Mazzacane going down the inside again. Giving a little nudge, Mazzacane, go on. Mazzacane stays in 3rd place, Button in 2nd. At the moment, Alonso leads the Brazilian Grand Prix and is pulling away slightly from Button. Button looks like he is just holding up the guys behind him. Up the hill towards lap 23. 4 laps to go after this. Is Mazzacane going to get a good toe? He's got 318. Braking turn 1. He's not going to make the move. Round turns 2 and 3. The top 6 are the couple separated by 5 seconds. Frentzen's 12 seconds back. Sato 18. Raikkonen 9th. And Mazzacane is in 10th. Top 10 all covered by 20 seconds. Poor old Hakkinen is just in the middle of nowhere. But at least he's probably not going to get lapped. Mazzacane looking down the inside of Button. But I think Button's going to keep the door shut. Yes, he is. Mazzacane just stays behind Button for now. Hill, Young. Frentzen 6 seconds back from these lots. Pretty much in the middle of nowhere is the German because he's 6 seconds in front of Sato. Braking heavily for the third hairpin. Accelerating a little, now a lot towards Zhongkao. The final proper corner before up the blast up the hill round the final 3 corners of the circuit, but they're all flat out corners. We have 3 laps to go in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Alonso leads. Buttons in second, Fisichella third, Alaisi fourth, Hill fifth, 6th is Young, 7th, Frentzen, and 8th place is Raikkonen. Raikkonen's in 8th place. No, Sato's in 8th place, sorry. Sato's in 8th. Raikkonen's in 9th. And Mazzacane is in 10th. Button, 2nd, he's 4 seconds behind Alonso now. Alonso's just pulling away, looking set to win this race. Fisichella currently 3rd, Alaisi 4th, Hill 5th in the Jordan. Heavy braking round this turn, and then round the next turn towards the next turn at the bottom of the hill. After this we'll have 2 laps to go, 2 laps for Fisichella to try and pass Jenson Button up the hill. Going approximately 315 kilometers an hour. Young looking down the inside of Hill, it looks like. Is he going to try to make the move down the first corner? Yes, he is. Is he going to make the move stick around the second corner? No, he isn't. Hill just takes so much speed into the second corner. Young just can't get the traction down. And now a quick pass down the straight. Young looking down the inside of Hill. He's just not letting it lie. The Hill keeps hold of the place for now. Young's got the wrong line. He's going to dive down the inside. Yes, he is. And Hill cannot do anything about it. Young has finally taken the place away from Hill. And Hill is down into 6th place. Young up into 5th. And that's, you argue, is probably the best he's going to be able to accomplish in this race is Alex Young, which a race was so promising for the Malaysian. He could have taken his 2nd win of the season, but instead it's looking like we're about to have our 5th constructor win a race. Alonso's just in the fastest lap of the race on the penultimate lap, which just shows his dominance in this race. He's managed to control it from start to finish, made the 2-stop work a charm. Young's famous 1-stop has just not worked out this race. He's lost positions to 4 drivers. That you'd argue that was the last chance for Fisichella to pass Button, unless he can get a good exit of Zhongkao. But the director man, we need to get on board with the right person. There we are. I think this might be his first victory, not going to lie. I don't think he has won yet, but if he hasn't won yet, he's finally won. Fernando Alonso is going around the final corner to win the Brazilian Grand Prix for the Toyota team. Toyota finally win this season. And all the rest of the drivers have just finished. Button 2nd, Fisichella 3rd, Alaisi 4th, Young 5th, Hill 6th, Frentzen 7th. And it'll be Sato 8th, Raikkonen 9th, and Mazzacane 10th. with Hakkinen rounding off the finishers. But we stay on board with your race winner as he drives around to Parc Ferme. It was a very mature drive from the young Spaniard to take home his first race victory. So the fifth constructor to win a race. Ferrari have won, BAR have won, Sauber have won, Minardi have won, and now Toyota have won. Half the constructors have won a race. Scott Jordan, Renault, Arrows, McLaren and Jaguar all waiting to win a race. But we have the final classifications of the quite entertaining Brazilian Grand Prix, to say the least. Alonso wins the Brazilian Grand Prix, Bottas is in second, Fisichella third, a lazy fourth. There's all the rest of the people. Didn't get a chance to go down the grid and tell you a little bit about all the people. I'm not even sure where we're racing next. It might be Italy. I think we're done with we're definitely done with America. I think we go to Italy next. Do not quote me on that. You'd have thought I would know the calendar by now, but apparently not. I do not know the calendar. As we look through the rest of the field, I hope you had a good time watching as much as I had a good time commentating. We had quite a few entertaining races this year. There will not be a highlights package because I, quite frankly, cannot be bothered to go through all the races and do a highlights package of all the races this year. But I'd like to say thank you ever so much for watching all the races in 2018. And hopefully we'll have more action as we go into 2019. So wherever you are in the world, thank you very much for watching. I speak English. And I'll inevitably see you next time for more action from the GPRO Formula 1 Championship Season 4. I am slowing down because I want to get to the end. Thank you, Alonso, for making us get the fastest lap 118.2. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.